A nephew of the Sultan of Terengganu in Malaysia studied in Australia and met an Australian girl. She married him in Malaysia in 1981, a little before her 18th birthday. They had 2 children, a baby and a toddler, at the time of the case. The marriage broke down when he took a second wife, as he was entitled to do under Islamic and Malaysian law. The mother returned to Australia with the children to visit family, then announced her intention not to return to Malaysia. Usually such a situation would be determined under the Hague Convention on International Child Abduction, but Malaysia is not a signatory. The mother applied to the Australian courts for custody and maintenance. The husband went immediately to a Kadi court, which is a religious court in Malaysia with jurisdiction over family law, where all the relevant people are Muslim. The Kadi court ordered that the mother resume cohabitation with the father and gave him custody over both the children. There was an appeal mechanism. The issue before the Australian courts was whether the mother could obtain a fair hearing of the custody matters, fair by Australian standards, in Malaysia. The court found that there was no reason to believe the Malaysian courts would be unfair. Justice G said, "I do not accept the submission that the intrusion of Islamic law meant an inconsistency between the intrusion of that law on the one hand and a consideration of the welfare of the children as being the paramount consideration on the other hand. Undoubtedly, the Malaysian courts do have regard to the welfare of the children as the paramount consideration, and insofar as that principle is applied, having regard to Muslim law and to Muslim culture and religion, the 2 concepts would go hand in hand, so that it could not be said that from that point of view that the wife would not obtain a fair hearing before the Malaysian courts." However, there were questions about whether the mother would be entitled to remain in Malaysia, particularly if the father divorced her and she was no longer entitled to a spouse visa. She was allowed to proceed in Australia due to this uncertainty. In this case, we see an Australian court giving full credit and respect to Islamic law and the Islamic Kadi court in relation to its resolution of family law disputes.